We're going to look at how to create a line graph using PyGal. In previous lessons, we went over how to create bar graphs, how to create lists that would be graphed on that bar graph, and how to upload data. So in this video, this short video, I'm going to move a little more quickly just to see how to now do some of the things we did previously, but to make a line graph, excuse me. So we're going to start similar to the way we did before. So from, oops. New file from PyGal import. And this time we're importing line. And then we're going to create our object. So graph equals, make some notes here again. Okay, graph equals, and this time it's line, capital L. And then just as before, we're going to give our graph a relevant title. I'm going to be graphing some LeBron James data in this one. So for now, I'll call it LeBron data. We'll make that more specific after we pull the data. All right, let's test this out. So graph.render and run. All right, great. I need to remember to save my file. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to need to pull some data. So I'm going to switch some screens here. I'm just going to show you again real quick how to pull some data. All right, so this is one of the data websites out there. This website's been pretty easy for me to pull some data from. So something I did was kind of scroll down. This was some data about the player per game, and it's broken down across each row by season. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some of this information. I don't need the whole thing, so I'm going to modify. And what I chose to save was number of games, and then number of games played, excuse me, and field goal percentage. I'm also going to keep the season number here so that I can remember when each happened. So I'm going to take out age, going to take out team. I'm just clicking that round X there to delete these. Let me make sure I don't know. Okay, number of games is going to be here. So delete, delete, keep number of games. And then I'm going to delete this, delete. Let's see. So this is going to be field goals and then field goal percentage. So I'm going to keep the field goal percentage. It just gives us an idea of how well that player was shooting in that season. Delete. Okay, and then here, I like this program too because now I want to delete everything else. You can click the little X with the arrow this time. It deletes everything after it. Perfect. All right, and now what I'm going to do is get a CSV. There we go. All right, and then so for this particular project, I just went ahead and copied. So I'm going to highlight all these and do a copy paste. So Control C or Command C, and then I'll come back here. Okay, oop, wrong screen. Okay, here's our project. I'm going to collect this plus sign to create a file. I'm going to call this, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to, try again, LeBron is going to be the file name, and then I'm going to paste in all that CSV data. There we go. All right. So then I just need to remember this is number of games played that season, and then this is our field goal percentage. So now that we have that, I'm going to click on line 4, hit enter to move everything down because I want to remember render is always going to be the last thing on my screen here. Okay, and let's start by adding our labels on our graph. So we're going to say graph.xLabels. So the method is xLabels. And then we're going to say equals map. And then we're going to give it some values. So for my x-axis, that's across a graph again. On the x-axis, I'm actually going to have it map out the years of the data we're covering. And so we have data from 2003 to the 2024-25 season. So because they're ranges, I'm going to kind of adjust this a little bit. I'm going to say 2003 is the low end, and I'm going to say 2004 is the upper end. So let's go back. Okay, so map we're going to say string, comma, so str, comma, and then we say range. Remember, a range means here's a number, and everything in between. And then we give it the lower end, 2003, comma, and the higher end, 2024. Let's see if that runs so far. Okay, so don't see that on there yet. That's okay. We're going to go back and just add our information. So next I'm going to say graph.add, and then we're just going to manually create the lists of data that are going to go on that graph. So this is going to be my first line. So line plot, and I'm going to start with the number of games. So graph.add, I'm going to call it number of games, comma, and then we're going to put the numbers that we want to plot on that line graph. So I'm going to do square bracket for my list, and then what I ended up doing was typing in each of these numbers in a list with commas in between. Since I already have that made, I'm going to copy and paste it for this video, but copy, paste. Try again. Try one more time. So copy and paste. There we go. I missed one of my numbers. That should be 43. Close bracket, and then I need to delete. These are mistakes. There we go. So it's going to look something like that. Okay, so again, that came off of this middle column here, 79, comma 80, comma 79, and that's going to be on my list here. Oh, my numbers don't match anymore. So I might need to go back in and change my numbers, but I'll do it later. Okay, and then next, graph.add, and this is going to be field goal percentage. And then the way we're going to format this is very similar. We're going to put some numbers in a list. And then for our graph, I went ahead and, again, I manually typed these in, but I kind of rounded them off. So right now they're in decimal format in our CSV file, so 0.417. Remember, when you're thinking about decimals converting to percentages, you can look here at these two digits. That would be 41 out of 100, so 41%. But it's got a 7 here, so I would probably round that up to 42. So I would just type in a 42, comma, and then keep going down the list to get all those percentages. So here's another 47, 48, round up to 48. So I would go 47, 48, 48, and then keep going through the rest of our list here. So I'm going to, again, copy and paste a list I did previously. Copy, paste. Okay. All right, I think I have all my information. I'm going to save and run. And there we go. It's our finished line graph.